Lord EXO is undoubtedly one of the biggest mysteries in Tower Defense Simulator. But what is he, and what are his intentions? Well, today, in this theory, I believe I finally found out who Lord EXO indeed is. But first, we obviously have to give him some backstory. EXO is the main antagonist of TDS, if you want to even call him that. He was first revealed in the trailer for the Valorant event back in 2022 as a figure made out of code. From the trailer of said event, we know that Lord EXO had gotten into the minds of the elves to lure TDS in and attack us, hence the name of the map, called Ambush. After the defeat of his army of elves, we get to the 2023 Halloween event, Lunar Overture. In this event, we're introduced to the God Cubes, made out of the same material as Lord EXO. Since his name is Lord EXO, we can assume he's regarded to as God, hence why we are inclined to believe that the cubes are of his making. In this ancient village, a girl named Umbra touched one of these God cubes, and she turned corrupted under the influence of him, explaining the events of the solar eclipse event. In Act 3 of Lunar Overture, TTS tries to seize one of the God cubes, which is property of the narrator and his theater. But after the defeat of the narrator, the cube exploded, and its fragments scattered across dimensions and realms. Before we continue, it is important to clarify the question of the realms. In the TDS universe, realms are regarded to as other Roblox games, as explained in the collab with the game Please Donate. The Roblox platform itself is described as a realm network, while Lord EXO himself as his own private realm network, with realms which we do not exactly know, but we can assume it includes realms such as the Hex Dimension and the Voidlands. Upon the explosion of the God Cube, 8 shards were scattered. Now, don't take this for granted, as it's only an assumption made off of these UGC items with 8 God Cube fragments. One of TDS's first antagonists, Krampus, just happened to stumble upon one of these fragments, which powered him and his army of corrupted elves to attack us whilst trapped in his fortress. During the fight against Krampus, other shards kept flying away, and one went to a mad scientist who years prior had caused the start of the zombie apocalypse. His name was Zero. By mixing the fragment with some compounds, he became one of his own corrupted creations, Patient Zero, who is also known as the final boss of Intermediate Mode. And finally, Fallen King, after knowing of the presence of a fragment in his kingdom, sent his servants to retrieve it and give it to him. This will eventually turn him into Awakened Fallen King in the Hidden Wave, which is the canon ending to Fallen Mode, in case you didn't know that. The Hexscape Event is the newest TDS event and the most recent addition to the game's lore. The story goes as follows. A group of cultists, named the Children of EXO, are trying to free him. We find out that Lord EXO has been trapped in this ancient prison for years, called the Null Zone. The Null Zone was visible in-game during the Lunar Overture lobby and the classic event trailer, but we'll come back to that later. The Children of EXO have made a fake God Cube to power up a machine that will lead to the Null Zone to free Lord EXO. However, this fake God Cube lures TDS in, and after a battle with Titus, the leader of the Children of EXO, we get sucked into a malfunctioning portal. Due to its malfunction, we end up in the Hex Dimension, an hellish landscape guarded by the Conserver, who isn't so happy about us being there. The Children of EXO had also been there previously, leading me to believe that the artificial God Cube parts were actually stolen by the Children of EXO from the Hex realm, hence why Conserver and his minions are enraged at us. After defeating the Conserver and going back to the overworld, we are greeted with the sight of an entire God Cube in the sky. As the Hex attack us, we meet again with Titus and Conserver, who have both been corrupted by the God Cube shards, until the Dracobloxer, an ancient creature from classic Roblox, attacks us using one of the fragments. Upon its defeat, however, the Children of EXO steal his shard, revealing that it was all a plan to obtain the Dracobloxer's fragment and use it for their own purposes. The Children of EXO head back through the portal, ending the event on a cliffhanger. Now, with all that out of the way, we can finally talk about the role of EXO as a god. For reference, Lord EXO looks like this, not like this. His model has been changed and updated, and now it's almost identical to someone familiar, to say the least. But once again, we'll focus on that later. For now, let's look at Krampus's Revenge thumbnail. Yes, a fucking event thumbnail, I'm not even kidding. Tell me, what do you see in this thumbnail? You might have said the Gotham shards flying around, or Krampus wielding one of them. But I want you to focus on this statue, which nobody's even bothered to mind before. It is a statue of Lord EXO. If Krampus has a statue of Lord EXO in his own house, it means one of two things. One, this is just some foreshadowing done by the devs about EXO, or two, which is the most likely, Krampus is one of the many who worship Lord EXO. And he isn't the only one who may be doing that. Other than the children of EXO, we also have the Fallen. Fallen King's castle is a literal cathedral. Needn't say anything. Oh, and Voidcaster, or Void River's emotional support sidekick as I like to call her, well, she's a priest. You know what priests and casters do. Let's take a look at it and wait for a moment. A figure starts talking to us, and it is that figure that summons or awakens Fallen King, perhaps by giving him permission to use the shard or just granting him its powers. This figure is Lord EXO, and before you say the devs confirmed it's not, they didn't. All the devs said was, who said it was EXO? They didn't say it isn't Lord EXO. Plus, this character and EXO have the same silhouette, so I don't know why you guys would think it's not EXO. And with all that out of the way, it is time to reveal Lord EXO's true identity. Believe it or not, the classic event is what plays the most important role at hinting this. The plot of the classic event is simple. Commander is kidnapped by 1x1x1x1, who is an old Roblox hacker or myth if you didn't know. And well, we have to say Commander, who has been led to 1x1x1's prison. Throughout the missions, 1x1x1x1 mostly taunts us and gives us some lines for the funsies, but if we look at his avatar, it's kind of familiar, don't you think? But now I roll the following footage with some subtitles from the TDS Classic Event trailer to let you guys figure it out by yourselves. Lord EXO, trapped in a nil zone, looks at himself through a portal and sees his reflection being 1x1x1x1. This is because Lord EXO is 1x1x1x1. He goes by this alias to kidnap Commander in the Classic Event and go undercover. You may argue that the Classic Event isn't canon, but it just so happens that 1x1x1 in his dialogues goes, oh, and he also goes, not enough proof? Think about it. Look at how many things Lord EXO being 1x1x1x1 explains. It explains the realms being Roblox games and him wanting to take them over. It explains the realm network being the Roblox Discover page. It explains the Dracobloxer, a classic Roblox creature. It explains the Nil Zone, which is Lord EXO's ancient prison, and why it is made out of classic Roblox parts, and so much more. Lord EXO being 1x1x1x1 makes everything right. I seriously can't find anything that will make this theory wrong. And even if some of you still believe that the classic event isn't canon, that doesn't mean it can't imply or hint towards certain things. Who knows, maybe in the classic, 1x1x1x1 is just shown to us, the player, because it's a Roblox event. But maybe in game, Commander and the player know that it's Lord EXO, as they never explicitly call him 1x1x1x1. Well, this has without a doubt been my single biggest theory, or lore, or whatever you want to call it. It's insane how I stumbled upon all these details so suddenly these past few days, and well, I would really appreciate if you spread this video out to as many people as you can. I don't care about likes and stuff, I just want as many people as possible to know the game's story and be up to date, as I know it can be very confusing. So in conclusion, I can't thank you guys enough for watching this. If you are here, well, go spread this out, share this video, and I will see you in the future.